Hey everyone, thought I'd put together this post which kind of compiles the top 5 questions that I keep getting asked. So let's jump straight into them. The most common question I get asked, especially by new bloggers, is whether it's easy or difficult to install Google Analytics. The answer is it's very, very easy. The only thing is you need to know where to get the code from. So essentially you just need to take some code from Google Analytics, which you can find here in the admin area, copy this code. Now the second part is you need to know where to paste that code. This will typically be in your templates header. So in this case, I'm in WordPress here, I go across to the header part of WordPress and just paste it in, and that's it. Now it's on every page in your blog. Hit save, obviously. You can verify this, just go to your web page, hit view source, and there you can see the code. You might need to do a Control F, which is search and paste the term Google Analytics in there, and you'll find the you'll find the code. So that's really simple, shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to do. The second most common question I get asked is, how much does Google Analytics cost? Well, the answer is it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Well, certainly it doesn't cost anything in terms of money. You get a really, really powerful analytics software. Obviously, Google are getting something back in return. They get to share your data, albeit very anonymously, and there's lots of filters and checks on it to make sure that it can't identify you. But you can always turn these individual features off if you want to. Me personally, I think, if it helps Google make a better product, I get a better product, so I've got no problem with it at all. The third thing I get asked by bloggers is, how often should they be spending on Google Analytics? Now, this is quite an important point here. We all know as bloggers, our time is split between creating new content and marketing and distributing new and existing content. Typically, all the conventional wisdom says you should be spending more time distributing and marketing your content than creating it, which, fine, is not my preferred method of working, but I understand that that's probably how it should work. Now, add into this equation a third element, and that is analyzing the results of your content and your distribution methods. So now, as a blogger, you have 3 things to do: creating your content, marketing it, and analyzing it now. So you're gonna think to yourself, given this third element, there'd be less time for me to actually do the thing I want to do, which is create new content. Well, that is true. That is true, certainly initially it's true, but there's a learning curve that you can go on, and if you invest some time up front on Google Analytics, it'll reap you rich rewards, mainly because these 2 elements that you're doing, Google Analytics gives you a framework to actually analyze what your most effective content is, and even more importantly than that, what your most effective marketing distribution methods are, so you don't need to waste time on things that don't work. Obviously, you've got to invest some time to find that out, but it's time well invested that you can go into. Also, you'll probably, once you build up enough proficiency, know exactly where to go in Google Analytics, and you'll only go in at certain points of time, namely when you have a new blog post or you're embarking on a new acquisition channel. The other thing you can do is set up alerts and auto reports, so you don't need to go to Google Analytics. The reports will be sent to you, and the alerts you can set up, you could say something like, tell me whenever I get 100 page views in a day, and it will just send you an alert to say you got 100 page views today. So these things you can automate quite a lot. Fourth thing I get asked is, well, how do I know if these numbers are any good or not? How do I know what good looks like? So it's actually one of the most powerful things in Google Analytics is 1,000 page views good or bad? Fact is, no one knows, but Google Analytics will allow you to create context around that. It will tell you whether 1,000 page views is 10% more than last month, 10% less than last month, and that's really how you're going to know if you're doing well is using those contextual filters within Google Analytics. The last thing people ask me is, how accurate is Google Analytics? So it's pretty accurate. There's some sampling that needs to be done on larger websites. For smaller websites, it can pretty much do it without sampling, but sampling is a necessary thing. If you didn't sample, it would take forever to get all these metrics and dimensions back to you. So it's something that pretty much all software does to a certain degree. There's other things outside of Google's control. For instance, if users have turned off their cookies or their JavaScript, or they've got some ad blocking software, etc., there's lots of things that will prevent Google gathering that data, but there's nothing really they or anyone can do about it if a user blocks it. Also, the thing that one of the biggest angst that I have is you just want to apply a pinch of salt to some of these metrics. So for instance, users, if you view a page on your home desktop, then you go to work, view it on your work machine, then you view it on your tablet, Google will count 3 hits to that page, 3 users, but really it was you 3 times. And inverse is true. If you're viewing a page on your machine and someone comes along and views that same page on your machine, it will count it as 1 user, wouldn't really do a 2. But if you put these things aside, pretty much for analytics you can say all the inconsistencies tend to iron themselves out and you get a very good view of the data and your activities. If you want to learn more about it, and there's a lot to learn, if you want to learn more, come visit me at my blog www.digitopiadigital.com. Search for my book on Amazon, Essential Web Analytics for Bloggers, in which I take you through every single step that you need to know in order to install, analyze, extract value from Google Analytics, such that you can really drive a successful blog. So yes, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, hit subscribe. I need subscribers, and I will see you guys on the next post. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.